Hi guys, and welcome to the sewing tutorial of this particular corset skirt. And just in case you're not aware, the pattern drafting tutorial is already up on the channel. You can check that out. So to start with, you can see all the dark lines already marked out. Please go back to the pattern drafting tutorial if you haven't watched that before now. That is I'm going to be leaving the link down in the description, and that's the video before this particular one. So I start by stitching all the 6 darts using quarter or less than quarter of an inch to terminate at the length that I marked for each of the darts. So this is the first and the longest dart, that's by the sides of the skirt, as you can see. So this is what the first dart looks like. It use less than quarter of an inch because it's so small, okay? And then this is the second dart. So I stitched to the length that I also marked, but this is a little bit like 1 inch shorter than the first dart. You can see that the difference in the length is not much. And then the third dart, I do the same thing. So I stitch to the length that I marked. So this is the first 3 darts on one side of the skirt, and I'm going to be stitching the same thing to the other second side of the skirt. So I'm going to be using this fishing line, but this is optional, okay? So if you don't want to use any fishing line, if you don't want to pass any fishing line into those darts, you can do without it. It's perfectly okay, but I just prefer to use that because I just wanted to give it that snatching effect that a corset should have, okay? So I'm going to be passing this fishing line into all the 6 darts at the front. That's for only the dart at the front. That's why I'm going to be using the fishing line. And after passing the fishing line, this is what it should look like. So I'm going to be stitching the second side or the other side of the skirt and do the same thing by passing the fishing line through each of them. So after stitching all the darts, this is what it looks like. And if you look closely, you'll see the difference between the ones I've put the fishing line and the ones I've not put the fishing lines. This other one at the right hand side is snatched, unlike the other side. So at this point, I have the fishing line pass through all the dart, and you can see it's already giving us that snatching effect that a corset should have, okay? And like I stated earlier, it's not compulsory. So for the back, I'm going to be using this piece, which is going to be serving as the carrier for the eyelets for the ropes at the back, okay? So as you can see, I have stay on it, and I just turn it to the other side and stitch on one edge of the eyelet holder or carrier. I just turn it out to give it the sharp edge, okay, as you can see, and then I put it on the down part of the back dart. I'm going to be holding it down first of all before I cover up with the other one. So I first of all hold it down with a slight stitch, and then I now stitch both sides of the dart together using half an inch or a little bit smaller than half an inch. So I hold it together, and after that, this is exactly what it should give us at the back. So this is what one side of the back looks like, and I'm going to be doing the same thing to the other side of the back. And after doing that, I'm going to be top stitching so that it can lay flat, okay? So I top stitch on this other side of this, and this is what it should give. Can you see that? So this is what we have for one side, and we repeat the same thing for the second side. And afterwards, we turn it with the interfacing. This is the front interfacing. This is the upper side of the skirt, and then I notch at that point, and then I top stitch on the interfacing. So I'll do the same thing to the front and then the back, and see this is what the front part looks like after turning it with the interfacing. And for the back, you can see that there is some form of equality there, so I'm going to be trimming off the excesses at the back. So this is the excess that I'm going to be trimming off at the back, and after that, it has given us a uniform shape that we need. So this is the back, and like I did to the front, I'm going to be turning with the interfacing. So this is what the back looks like, and this is the front part of the skirt. And for the back, we just put the zip, we have the sides joined together using our body measurements. So we're almost concluding at this point. So this is me measuring out the body shape so that I can have it stitched by the side all the way. Afterwards, we proceed to the back side. The finishing of this skirt, basically what we have at this point, the finishing is left to the back side of the back for us to complete. So this is basically what the shape of the skirt looks like, and I'm going to be stitching it down. So afterwards, this is what it looks like, and see that it's already giving us that pencil shape. And this point, we're not going to be leaving it this out, or this tidy. I'm going to be trimming it out and then have it, you know, turned in like so. Okay, so that it's giving us a very perfect and neat finishing, because that's the essence of stitching, you know. So I have it trimmed out and then I have it turned in. Okay, I'm going to be holding it down with a slight stitch just to give us that perfect and neat finishing. So I'm going to be doing this to both sides of the skirt. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I'm done. I just use the pin to hold it down at this point. So I'm going to be holding it down with the help of a stitch or stitches. So you can see I'm trying to press it down with the help of the pressing iron, so that everything comes out looking as good as it should be. So at this point I open it up, and then at this side, okay, the two sides where I have the skirt joined, I'm going to be stitching a cover that I'm going to be passing the boning, you know, through. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using as well. So I just cut the shape of this side. You can see it is pointed like a V, on inverted V. So I make sure that this piece that I'm going to be using to stitch it has that shape. So I just stitch it down to the length of the boning that I want. So this is the length that I want. I stitch it down. That's right before the hip shell. Okay, don't make sure it doesn't get to the hip or exceed the hip. That's the length of this piece that you're going to be using to pass the boning. Okay, so I have that stitched down, and then I'm going to be doing the same thing to the second part as well, that is the second side of the skirt. I hope you know that this stitching is on the two sides of the skirt, where you have the front and back joined together. So that's on top of that stitch that I'm going to be stitching this piece. I hope this makes sense. So this is what it looks like after that, and I'm going to be passing the boning, you know, just like so. I'm just showing you what I'll be doing by the end of the day. So at the right side, this is what the stitching should look like. You can see. So after that, I'm going to be opening up this piece of fabric at the back with the help of a soldering iron. Okay, that's where I'm going to be passing the eyelet through. If you want to use the eyelet machine to do this, it's okay. If you want to use your scissors, it's okay. If you want to use the soldering iron as well, it is fine. So I basically opened them up and I've passed the eyelet, and this is what it looks like at the back, and this is what it looks like at the front. So we are basically almost done with this skirt. We just have the buttons, you know, to fix, and then the boning to fix at the side. So this is what the boning looks like, and this is what how I'm going to be fixing it. Just like I cut the fabric that I stitched there, I'm going to be cutting this boning, you know, to that shape as well. That's the shape of the side of the skirt. We're not going to be leaving the boning straight like so. So I cut it, and then I have it passed into the skirt, and I cut out the excess. So after passing the boning, you're going to see that it's going to be giving us the snatching effect even before putting it on. Okay, so after passing the boning, let's zip it and let's see what it looks like. You can see that it's already giving that snatching effect on the waist line, and the waist area, I mean. So this is what we have, and then we have our rope for the snatching properly. So I just basically pass the ropes, and guys, our corset skirt is all done and dusted and ready, you know, to be worn. So this is what the passing or the passage of the ropes looks like. Guys, I am madly in love with this skirt. I'm not going to lie. This skirt is giving all that it should give, and guys, this is the final outcome. Just rate this skirt in the comment section for me. I absolutely love this skirt. It's giving all that it's supposed to give. It's snatching all that needs to be snatched, guys. My waist is not this tiny, but this skirt snatched everything that needs to be snatched, you can see. So these are beautiful the skirts turned out. And guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Please consider giving it a thumbs up, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section. And if up to this moment you haven't subscribed, what exactly are you waiting for? Please click on that red subscribe button and become a family member, as I promise to always bring you educative and informative tutorials on this channel. So guys, thanks for watching, and see you in my next one. Bye.